everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Ajwa. In this video, I have in my hand the fragrance I promised myself I wasn't going to get because of the price. But then I have a friend who I saw buying this first and immediately called her and asked her what it was all about. And she said it smells like butterscotch. Then I was like, you know what? Let me just grab it, because eventually I might, or I eventually will. I was just waiting for the price to go down. But because of how she described this, I said, let me just go with the flow and go with the Swiss Arabian price, that they're asking for. So yeah, here we have in my hand the 11th member to the Shaghaf line, Shaghaf Vanilla Toffee. It is a very beautiful mustard, like yellow, feel very beautiful. In person, it feels like super rich, and the yellow is like bright and fun. That is what it is. But the fragrance itself, is it fun? Is it as how people are describing it? Because I've never seen anyone say anything negative yet about Shaghaf Vanilla Toffee. And I have a lot of things to say about it. I didn't want to do a first impression because I didn't want like a first reaction. If it didn't go well, then people will go like, oh, why are you being such a hater? Whilst everybody is loving this, you claim A, B, and C, and D. So I wanted to at least experience this for myself for a little while before I bring it to your attention. So this is Shaghaf Vanilla Toffee. And the notes in this one are coffee and toffee at the top. It has dates, vanilla walnut, milk cardamom, brown sugar, Madagascar vanilla, and then vanilla caviar in the middle, and then tonka bean, benzoin, musk, and woodsy notes at the base. So this is going to be a more complex fragrance. I've seen quite a number of people talk about this, but nobody has spoken about the fact that it is quite on the complex gourmand side. It is not going to be your very or the most likable, especially at the beginning, like the most likable straight out of the bottle gourmand one. It is gourmand. It actually is very gourmand, but it is a more complex one, which probably needs a lot of time for people to sort of get into it. This, to me, okay, I'll tell you how I feel about it, but let me describe how it feels or how it smells. What I get the most from this fragrance is going to be a bitter cardamom and the walnuts. When I look at the description for cardamom, it says it is a sweet, resonant, aromatic, and spicy note with a bitter aftertaste. Take note of the bitter aftertaste. Then when it comes to walnut, it says a nutty, woody note with somewhat bitter aftertaste. Take note of the bitter aftertaste in the note of walnut as well. So we have two notes which are showing you of getting something like a bitter aftertaste, which are the walnut and then the cardamom. The cardamom here is not as spicy. It's spicy, but it's not as the normal spicy, Christmassy cardamom that a lot of us are used to. What I get the most here is going to be that Arabic style coffee, and that is what Swiss Arabia themselves says it is, an Arabic style coffee, although it doesn't state here like Camera Kawa said it was Kawa, an Arabic style coffee. This one says coffee, but it is more of an Arabic style coffee to my nose. It is not going to be your typical Starbucks coffee, Nescafe sort of thing. It is more of a spicy, different take on the coffee. You still get that coffee thing, but it's more on an Arabic side. Even if you have not smelled any Arabic type of coffee before, as soon as you smell the coffee in this, you would know it is quite different. It is also milky. It says milk, but the milk here doesn't feel cold. Milk can come across as a bit cold and dense. The milk in this one feels a bit warm. It's like warm milk, that you're pouring on into the coffee. So the fragrance itself is not cold. It feels a bit warm. There's a warmth to it. Think about pouring yourself coffee onto some milk and that steam coming out. It has something like that. When it comes to let's say the texture of this fragrance, it has that steam like sort of thing. Like pouring water onto the the cap, and the steam vapor thing coming out, I guess it sort of puts me in that, mind space. I don't get much of the dates, the dates, I don't get much of it, vanilla, I do get, it is quite prominent. Toffee, I do get, it is more of that. That is where the butterscotch thing comes in when it comes to the toffee. It is more of a butterscotch, toffee, nuance. Brown sugar, yes, but Madagascar vanilla caviar, they're all types of vanilla. And I strongly get like a heavy presence of vanilla in this. Tonka bean, not so much, not as heavy as I find in Shaghaf Oud tonka, for example. They don't smell alike when it comes to this and that. This is a 10th member to the family. They don't smell alike at all. But of all the Shaghaf line I have tried, I think this and this are the most sort of, aside Shaghaf Oud, the original Shaghaf Oud, these are the like more gourmand ones. This one will not give you your typical gourmand that you're looking for. It will not. It is on the complex side. It is more of a complex, gourmand with the bitterness or the bitter aftertaste of the walnut and the cardamom, playing a significant role here. There's something, as it says, like a bitter taste, a bitter aftertaste because of those two notes, and I strongly get it, coupled with that, unique sort of coffee that this one has. It is quite spicy. The cardamom is quite spicy, but it gets more of that bitter cardamom in this, as well as the bitter nutty. It has a nutty nuance coming from the walnut, and the spice of cardamom is not going to be your sharp, Christmassy, spicy one. It's going to be more of a bitter aftertaste, kind. However, what makes this one super gourmand is going to be the notes of toffee and then vanilla. Those are the things that I find that makes this one super gourmand, and a slight bit of the coffee. The coffee is not going to give you like a very familiar, coffee. It's not going to be a very familiar coffee. This is different. It is unique. It is not going to be love at first sniff for a lot of people. It is not going to be love at first sniff for a lot of people. Maybe when you wait even on the first day, after the 2-hour mark, that is when you're going to really appreciate this. But right from the bottle, it's going to be a little more complex with something like an inky, woody base. Not even a base, like there's something like an inky sort of woody base, like mixed somewhere in the mix, something feels quite inky and it's woody, you can get a presence of the woods. It's quite woody, but it feels quite inky, that sort of inky woods. That is what this one feels like. This is going to be your grown, more matured gourmand, not the food edible ones, like let's say the Paris Corner tiramisu, or even this one. I know lots of people say it is more complex and they don't like it. It sort of follows suit. If you are not into super gourmand fragrances, you might most likely not appreciate this one, because it's going to be a gourmand but with a twist, like with something quite complex, quite complex. I don't think this is going to be like blind buy, like worthy. And as much as a lot of people say it is like, oh, gourmand, scrumptious, I don't think it is like the most blind buy worthy fragrance. You might have to sample this one because it's on the unique, more complex Arabic style coffee, oriental, it is more of an oriental, Middle Eastern type of gourmand. It's not going to give you your Western gourmand like how Paris Corner even did with like tiramisu. It's not going to give you that. It's going to give you a more complex oriental Middle Eastern type coffee with the bitter aftertaste of the cardamom and then the walnuts. It's a nutty sort of thing, but it feels like a dark, sort of, coffee, feel to it. I don't know what else I can compare this one to. I have nothing in my collection, my current collection, that I can compare this fragrance to in terms of the in terms of the smell, it doesn't smell like anything I have smelled before. You know, it doesn't smell like anything I have smelled before, you know, but it has a familiarity because of the butterscotch coming from the toffee, you know. Aside the sweetness and the gourmand nature of the toffee and the butterscotch, this by itself is gourmand, but it is more complex than mass appealing. It is more complex than mass appealing, and I think some people might find this one quite difficult to deal with in the first couple of days or weeks, you know. But I have this, you know, I know after maceration it's going to smoothen out, but this is a very beautiful scent. I love how mature smelling it comes across, you know. It is not your juvenile one, you know. It's very beautiful. Honestly, it's very new to my collection, but I do actually love this one so much. I do love this one a lot more than I anticipated. I thought it was going to be one of those, you know, just gourmand realistic ones that they are bringing out like lately. This is on the complex side with a bitter aftertaste sort of feel to it. You know, it is more feminine, but because of the bitter aftertaste of the cardamom and the walnut, it's more okay. It's unisex leaning feminine, you know. It's unisex leaning feminine. I wouldn't mind smelling this one on a man at all. I wouldn't mind at all, although probably when it dries down it's going to get a lot more sweeter and, you know, more gourmandy and more feminine, you know. But if you're a man, you don't mind smelling edible gourmand, I think this is going to be for you. So for me, although this one is super new, I will rate this one like a 9 out of 10. This is good. More, it's a complex. It is how I like my, you know, gourmands. Like, although I appreciate like simple gourmands, this is more of the complex, you know, mysterious. It even has like a mysterious, you know, sort of vibe to it, because there's something about that you're not too sure what you're smelling, but it is also addictive and you don't know how to explain it. That kind of experience that you're not sure of but you're still enjoying it, you know. It's super addictive, mature smelling, more feminine, you know. The milk feels like a steamed milk with the, you know, the coffee being slightly like more Middle Eastern and unique, and the bitterness of the cardamom and the walnut and the sweet, you know, not your super fluffy vanilla, you know. The two types of vanilla here are not going to give you your super fluffy bianco latte sort of vanilla. No, they are vanilla heavy, but not like that fluffy type, you know. It is more of a warm feel, warm milk, you know, feel somehow to the coffee and the cardamom and the walnut. Those are the major notes I get in Shaghaf Vanilla Toffee, and that is going to be it for today. Definitely going to be numerous various updates about this particular fragrance, and thank you so much for having me here, and I hope this video found you well. Please do not forget to give this video a thumbs up, and I hope to see you in my next one. Take care. Bye bye.